Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to be converting our car seat into a booster. And so please read the owner operator manual for this. There's a lot of instructions for it. My video is just showing you the basic overview, and I may interpret something differently, or there could be an update or something that I'm missing. Please check the video description as well for my forward and rearward facing videos. And also check the video description where I can put updates and other information. There are two configurations for the booster seat. One where it retains the backing, and with that the child must be 30 to 100 pounds, 38 to 57 inches, and must be 3 years old. So even if you say, well, my child's bigger than most for their age or whatnot, make sure that you're following all of those requirements. Although you and your child may be excited to be getting out of the harness and into the booster seat, keep in mind that it is most safe to have that harness, and there's other variables when the child starts using the seat belt on their own and how it will keep them in place. So up to 100 pounds, the manual is recommending to use the harness as long as possible. The other configuration is with the booster only, and so the child must be 40 to 120 pounds, 40 to 57 inches, and at least 4 years old. A lot of these instructions are found on the car seat itself, so find them there and read through them, but it also might be scratched off over the years, so please make sure you are reading your owner operator manual. Okay, so we'll get started here. The first thing that it asks us to do is lift up the tab here, push down on the button, and pull all of the slack out of the shoulder harnesses. So that should release, and you should be able to pull these tightly. Next, pinch the adjustment lever for the headrest and lift the headrest up as high as it will go. Now we'll unbuckle the chest clip as well as the buckle straps here at the bottom. Now we will undo the buttons here at the top for this padding here, as well as the lower buttons too. When those are undone, now we can take this pad and walk it out of the back and flip it over so it's out of our way. From here you'll see a little door, so there's a little tab that we push, and we open up to a little storage compartment for the straps. So you're going to put all of the buckles in here, and when they all fit together nicely, you'll just close this door and it will lock into place. And then just make sure that everything is flush. Now we'll move to the bottom of the seat, and we'll be pulling this padding out as well and forward. Pull the belt buckle through the padding so that it's completely exposed. Now we'll take the belt buckle and fold it over, and it will stow right here on itself. Now we can take the padding and put it back. And we can rebutton our buttons. Now we can adjust the headrest up or down depending on the child and make sure that the paneling isn't getting bunched up. Now we're going to put it into position number 6. So we're going to pull on the lever on the front, and we're going to push it forward until it straightens up, and then we want to make sure that that arrow is pointing at number 6 and it's locked into place. Now you can still use the latch and tether system as long as it does not interfere with the seat belt for the vehicle. So if you go to put this in and the seat belt's getting blocked by any way by this, then do not use the latch system. And maybe you're already using the latch system if you've seen my other videos. And if you're doing so, you want to make sure that everything is straight and not twisted, so the belt should be flat the entire time as it hitches in, and hitching in the correct way so it's not upside down. So taking it to the vehicle, the first thing that we're going to do is feed our tether through the back here. So here's our tether. We want to make sure that it is flat and not twisted in any way, and we're going to have it go through the back of the seat, and we're going to just leave it like that for the moment until we hook it up. Okay, next we're going to put the seat over into its position, and again we're making sure nothing is twisted. We're finding our anchor position down in here, so there's the bar down in there. And so we're going to take this, don't twist it upside down, and it should click into place. And again, we're making sure that this is nice and flat and not twisted as it goes all the way through the car seat. This is the side that does not have the adjustment. So when we go to the other side, Notice how it has the button. I'd go ahead and push that down and get as much slack as you can. And we're going to feed this through, and it's going to hook into that other position as well. With everything securely fastened, double check again that you have a nice flat belt coming through here that's not twisted in any way. And now we're going to pull up on this to tighten it down. I like to put one hand firm on the car seat so I know it's getting down into the back, and pull with the other one. And you got to pull straight up, not away from you. So the more that you pull straight up, the tighter you can get it. Now, something I noticed when making the video is on this vehicle, it has a flap that pulls up so that you can gain access to those anchor points, but you really want to make sure this is not pushing on the button or causing any trouble. And even the manual recommends using a seat protector, and so if you do, just make sure it doesn't interfere in any way. Now for the back, we want to make sure that, again, this is flat and has no twists in it. And we're going to come down and put this on the anchor. And on this vehicle, it was way down here hidden. It's kind of harder to see. Usually it's about halfway up the back of the seat. But we're going to click that in, and we're going to pull this straight up as well and get it as tight as we can. Double check again that it's flat coming from the car seat all the way down, and that it's as tight as you can get it. Now with everything in position, we'll take the car's seat belt, and we want to thread this through the top ring. So make sure that it also goes down into that red area and that it does not twist as we put it into here. It still needs to remain flat. So we want to make sure that that's coming in flat. We want to make sure that it's also on the lap part here. This should be flat and straight and not twisted. As it comes through, it must go through that channel there. Make sure that it's not going over the armrest or the cup holder or anything, so it must go through here. As it's then on the child's lap, it comes over, and make sure that it again is going straight into the seatbelt without any interference with the latch straps for the anchoring. Okay, again, make sure that this is also nice and flat and not twisted. And you also, on some cars like this one, have some adjustability, so you can pinch this and go up and down. Usually the lower position is going to get it closer down to your child's shoulder length. So just make sure that you adjust this up or down depending on how it needs to go. And when everything is installed, triple check again that none of these anchors are getting in the way of the seatbelt system itself. We're checking all these things, and we'll check it again when the child is actually sitting in the seat to make sure that everything is good and flat. We'll adjust the headrest up or down. And with that, you want to make sure that the headrest on this car seat does not interfere with the car's headrest. In our case, the headrest seems to be pretty good. It's not really touching the car's headrest. You can still get some space back in there, but if not, there are ways for you to remove the car seat for the vehicle. So when I put this up higher, now it does seem to be a problem. So once my child is that high or that tall, we can take the headrest out of the vehicle, and that's pretty easy to do. You just push on the button on the side and then lift up on the headrest. So this is something the manual mentions but doesn't really suggest, so make sure you find out the proper answer to that one. Then we're just, again, double checking that we're going through and not over on the armrest. And as your child puts themselves in the car, often make sure that they're not putting it in the wrong spot. If your vehicle only has a lap belt and doesn't have a shoulder belt, you cannot use it in this way. For the booster seat, they must have the shoulder belt. Double and triple check all of your work, read all of the information, make sure you're following the right seating position is number 6, and all the weight requirements. Now we're going to move on to how we would turn this into a booster only. So the first thing we would do is turn this around, and we are going to take the shoulder straps out of the splitter plate. So you're going to unloop it until it comes off of that splitter plate on both sides. Once you have it off, this just sets down. We're going to go ahead and make sure everything is properly stowed here. So this one comes over on this right hand side for our anchor, and then these two fold up here. There's 2 other little bars that they click on, one on each side. Now we can undo the buttons and gain access to the bottom underneath the padding. So undo these two and then fold it forward. Now there's two red tabs, and we're going to lift the tabs both up. Once they're up, we'll push them together, and that will unlock the back of the booster. Now we can pull up on it. Takes a little bit of wiggling around here, and the back of the booster will come off, and we can set it out of the way. Now we'll come and we will put these tabs back down by moving them to the sides. Now you don't want to lose the splitter plate, so it actually has a place built in for this to come down and lock into place, so you can stow it here. So this is what it should look like when it's done. And then on the sides there's two of these elastic tabs. So the inner ones will go here, and this will help keep this padding down. And then the outer ones will go around the corner, so you'll just see the little slits that are cut out for holding those down. After that, the buttons didn't seem like they did anything from there. It was just kind of a flap. Now that we put it into the vehicle, we want to make sure that the seat belt also goes through that red area there and does not get stuck up on the armrest. And just remember, as children are getting old enough to be putting themselves in the car, they might put this in wrong, so you always want to double check that they're doing it correctly. And from here, it will buckle right into the car's seat belt, and we want to just make sure that the shoulder strap is also coming through and over the front of the child. This is another good time to make sure everything is flat, and again, if your car has a adjuster, to pinch it and put it at the right height so it goes over their shoulder and not over the side of their face. When the child is sitting in the seat, their ears must be below the back of the seat, or at least below the back of the headrest. So make sure their ears are no higher than this area here. So as a few more notes, make sure that that shoulder belt is going across the child's shoulder. It should not be choking them on the neck, and do not put that shoulder belt behind them. They will have that tendency to put it behind their back. Make sure that does not happen. Make sure the child does not slide down. If they're not at all wearing it properly, then go back to some form of another car seat. At that age, they might be resisting the seat belts entirely. There are also belt positioning clips and some things that help keep that shoulder belt going right across the shoulder. Sometimes it's part of the vehicle. I think in mine, where it has that adjustable up and down, it doesn't really have that, but I've seen detachable clips. So that's not covered in this video, but you might want to look into that to make sure that shoulder belt is going directly over their shoulder and not right into the side of their face. It is hard to anticipate which vehicle these are going in, and many cars are built differently, so make sure that the booster seat does fit fully in the car's seat. If the booster seat is larger and hanging off the front of the seat, then do not use it in that area. And again, do not use just a lap belt ever. So thanks for watching. Please read through all the instructions you can find on the seat itself, in the manual. Don't just take my word for any of this. Double check things, check the video description. Sometimes there's updates in the process or procedure. They want you to do this, but it is your responsibility to completely understand this. And if you have any questions, do not put a child in the seat or travel until you have them properly answered. Thanks for watching, and please check the video description for more playlists that are similar to this. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks, guys.